I thought it'd be worth noting, of course we're on pavement here, we're on concrete, but I mean the ability to pull their largest model trailer pretty neat. Hey everyone, welcome to DIY Outdoor Life. If you're new to the channel, my name is Brian, and today we are hanging out again with Robbie from Hiker Trailers. We are doing our walkthrough, and we're gonna have a discussion about the peak of the mountain here at Hiker Trailers.
This is the extreme off-road. This is as as purpose-built for off-roading as we can get.
This is one of the most off-road capable vehicles, trailers that I've seen.
Yeah.
And like all Hiker trailers, it's gonna have some different size options. You can get a bigger cabin or a smaller cabin. You offer the 8 and the 9 for this?
That's right. This is a little different than the others. We only have 2 sizes instead of the 3, the 8-foot and the 9-foot. And the reason being is weight. Yeah. As we walk around and go through this one, you'll see that the frame and the platform and basically the undercarriage is completely different from any of the other models we've shown off so far.
Yeah. Now, the other thing that'll be a little bit different about the model that we're pointing off is most of the Hiker trailers we've been doing videos on have tons of customizations that the customer has asked you to install for them. This is stripped down, plain Jane.
Yeah, this is a pretty entry-level model, which is, again, pretty rare as you get into the higher-level models. But as you can see, we're missing a door here. You know, the one door is a standard option, but the second door is so popular that it's, probably going to become standard at some point in kind of our lexicon of how we build trailers.
Now, I have a one-door teardrop, and almost every other teardrop or small camper enthusiast says, oh man, 2 doors is a must. Now, I preferred the one door because I sleep up against it like a couch. I turn it into like a little sitting area. I have more wall space there. I have a window similar to this that tips out. I was a one-door enthusiast. After 2 years in my camper, if I got another one, I'd probably get 2 doors.
Yeah, I mean, just from a convenience standpoint, it's easy, and a lot of times the campsites that you pull up to are always going to be slightly different.
Yep.
So being able to just, I'm just going to back in every time, and you can get out either way.
There's a degree of convenience there, and what happens is we start to accessorize our tiny campers with tents and awning rooms and side entries, and to be able to open the door and go out to either side is a huge convenience. But I'm happy. I picked a one door and I stood by it for a while.
Yeah, and we still offer it as an option clearly, just based on budget or how people want to use their camper.
Now, really, but we're talking about the cabin here, but let's go back to what differentiates this trailer. I mean, these are fully rated rock sliders?
Yes, so the frame itself is going to be extremely different on this model. So you can see if we start up at the front, we have an integrated storage rack in the front on the tongue. You get the medium toolbox here as standard, so you can use it for just storage or you can throw your battery up here. It comes with 4 leveling jacks, so 2 in the front, 2 in the rear.
And everything about this is beefy and heavy duty. These guys specialize in metalwork. They did it before they had a tiny camper company.
Correct.
You could drive a motorcycle up on this, strap it down.
Yep.
I mean, this is really...
Yeah, people put e-bikes and all that kind of stuff up here all the time, strap it down to the rack or to the rock and the brush guards on the side of the frame here. But as we move down, you can see we've got the rock guards. The fenders, just like all of ours, are stand-on rated. They are installed with elevator bolts, but this goes an extra step. They're actually bolted into the frame itself.
Okay, yeah, and I see with these little tapers, I mean, you catch yourself on a tree or something, everything is designed for some real trail riding. The person who buys this, besides the look, it looks cool, but the person who buys this probably has done some serious mods on their tow vehicle.
Yes, this is the purpose built. If you're going to use it to off-road and not just for the looks of it, we've taken all that stuff into consideration in the design to make sure that you're capable of towing it wherever your tow vehicle can go.
Now, people hate to wait to the end of these videos to hear this, so let's just get it out of the way right up front. When I go to trade shows or expos and I see campers with this sort of capability, you see numbers $56,000,
Sure.
$38,000. You know, these are very, very expensive trailers. This one's pretty stripped down. What is the cheapest you could get in an extreme off-road?
You're going to start at around $13,000 if you went just with the base model.
I mean, that's pretty impressive for what you're getting. This has real suspension.
Yeah, this we've moved away from the torsion axles and we've upgraded to a 3,500 pound straight axle, and we use Jeep springs. They're basically Wrangler springs underneath.
Yeah.
And we go an extra step and put shocks in there as well.
So you got springs and shocks on this thing. You know, fully sized tires. You could deflate these down to make it go a little bit softer or give you flotation. What is this trailer for somebody that's really trying to drag this through dunes or blow sand or something?
Yeah.
What does this thing weigh?
So these are going to be closer to probably 2,400 pounds on average.
Okay,
And
so
then-
you're going to drop some air pressure.
Right. The higher end, you're going to hit closer to about the 3,000. The heaviest one we've ever built was only 3,100 pounds.
That's, you know, you're still talking small trucks, Tacomas,
Correct.
and, you know, you could...
Correct. And the unique thing about this is, you know, this is the only model that we actually offer a variable bolt pattern on for the tires. The 5-on-5 is the standard, like the mid-range XL, but we can actually switch that to a 6-on-5.5.
So if you have a Toyota or like a non-American made car, you have a bolt pattern so that you don't have to carry that spare.
Correct.
You could carry a single spare on your tow vehicle and you have
because again, we are
interchangeability.
reaching that higher end of kind of the micro camper weight scale. So we're trying to take some of that stuff into consideration.
Well, this is a pretty impressive setup. I would love to see where some people are going to end up bringing a trailer.
let's see what somebody with no budget would do on an extreme off-road.
Yeah, I'm loving it. Now, it's crude. It looks tough. But again, I always bring this out with these hiker videos. There is a refinement here. They're not crude on how they're building this. This is craftsmanship. From the sealant to the types of miters that they make on things. This is nice. You still have that Baltic birch interior?
Yes, the box is going to look, from the inside, you won't be able to tell what model you're sitting in because everything on the inside is almost the same.
Well, let's check this one-door model out, see what we got going.
Sure.
So inside this extreme off-road, they're going with a very basic package. This is somebody that's like upgrading from overlanding and tent camping. They have a passive roof vent, just a couple lights, but I really love this where your feet can go underneath. Obviously, they're going to choose their own mattress. Maybe they're using an inflatable mattress or they're going to buy a memory foam, but you have these nice locks, everything CNC pass-through, cubbies to store all of your gear. This trailer is built for a good time and it's built for a long time. This is really quality components here. Couple cubbies cut into here to be able to store some gear, and it seems like all the hiker trailers are coming with this interface. There's a switch, a 12-volt plug. Of course, we can adapt this to anything. Modern USB power deliveries, but there's a voltage check for your battery and a couple USBs here, quick charge 3.0s. So they do have this light up above, but a very small battery could satisfy the loads of what's being set up in this camper. So moving from a base model version of the Extreme Off-Road, this is a customer's, it looks like it's just about done.
Pretty much.
But this is what you would consider to be a more typical Extreme Off-Road.
Yeah, this would be closer to like an average build. You know, most customers are going to add some sort of roof rack system, an awning.
This is a 270 Batwing.
Yes.
So this goes all the way around, ties back in, and has some rigidity.
That's right. We work with Rhino Rack 230 and Body Armor for awnings, so you've got 3 different options, 3 price points, different material styles.
Any of these self-supporting, or do they all have down
They'll
poles?
all have support poles.
Yeah.
They're only self-supporting until the wind gets strong enough.
Yeah, exactly.
So
right.
we're still doing some development with a couple of the brands that do that, but we're not buying into it just quite yet.
I totally understand. Now, I see propane, so that'll be on this side. That's what the customer's going to use probably to go to their cook stoves?
Right, yeah. If anytime it's on the passenger side like this, most commonly there's going to be either a side table or they're going to set up a portable table here to do all their cooking and whatever else they might need.
So this customer put their power center on the front. They're using a battery. They got an inverter. some real neat stuff. But coming inside this trailer,
Yeah.
you're also seeing a little different design from the last one. And one of the first options here, they're taking advantage of this under the bed storage, which only exists with the super
With the
ground
Extreme Off-Road,
clearance.
that's correct. This is the only model that will have the under storage cargo in the cabin because you do have the ground clearance to support it.
Very cool stuff.
Yeah.
Now, you have a couple different options on your website for lights on the outside.
Correct.
But every one that I've seen, whether it's kind of spotted or flooded, very high quality, low consumption LEDs.
Yeah, we've done some testing with 3 exterior lights and the Max fan running on full. We're only consuming on average about 56 watts.
That is enough that you can satisfy those loads with very modest investments in your off-grid system. But now you add like a Propex to this and a couple things. You can still stay under that magic 10 amp number.
Yes.
Which means you can run it from a cigarette style plug.
Yeah, yeah.
Whether it's a power
Yeah, the
station.
12 volt, 10 amp, 120 watt carport plugs will run our entire trailer even with all the bells and whistles.
This is, this is beyond cool. It gives you capability when you start to learn about this stuff, the capability that you could do working with cheaper batteries and, so-
And sometimes it's not just about capability. Sometimes it's about aesthetics and just looking good going down the road, which is why, we've got about 18 different colors that people can choose from because sometimes they just look pretty cool,
This one is a showstopper. I don't know what you call this color. It looks like a hunter or forest green.
We
or
call it
something.
emerald green. Yep.
Emerald green. It obviously looks good, but when you start getting into the website, there's options on how much diamond plate. This is real diamond plate. It's not plastic.
Not plastic. We use aluminum.
You've got different height options for what you can do on the front, which is an aesthetic decision, but it's also protection from road chips.
Yeah, it's also an active rock guard. So, the 14 inches that we do down the side and then the front are going to be the most common areas to get nicks and rock dents doing off-roading. So we can protect that with diamond plate, which is very easy to replace or repair.
Yeah, no, I love it. So I think, looking this trailer over from underneath, looking at the components, I've seen a lot of these trailers. And for me, someone at my station in life, when I see the price tag, I usually just, cringe because they're very cool to look at.
Yeah.
You go to the trade shows and you see all of these fancy
all
features.
the glitz and all the glamour.
But for $60,000, I mean, I don't have that.
Yeah.
So to see that there's a trailer that you can, the most expensive ones you're selling is half that price.
Right.
So-
And the average off-road like this one here, as it sits, is probably in the 20 to 22,000 range.
Yep.
And then if you want to go take a look, we've got one with all our bells and whistles to really kind of hit the top of the line.
So we'll take a peek at that one and we'll probably sign off at that point. But, one of the things, I know you know this about new people that come to the tiny camper world, for me, these prices are low. I know what the industry prices are, but some people say, all of, that huge price for such a small thing. This has a more expensive frame than your giant commercial 32-foot campers.
Correct.
It's got all of the components that those campers have, the same electrical system, much more expensive axle and wheels. So when people compare this to a 32-foot and they're expecting that there's less value here, the only difference is a couple cheap couches. This is actually
Sure.
more expensive to build
Yeah.
than a big 32-foot box.
Yeah, and again, this isn't coming off of the assembly line. As you've walked around and seen our construction methods, each station is a craftsman style station where, individual artisans and craftspeople and people with their own skill sets are doing their specialty in these campers. So it works a little differently than that.
Pretty cool. Well, we're going to take a look at that showstopper and then we'll
Sounds good.
sign off. So one interesting option only available on the Extreme Off-Road is the rear spare tire holder.
Correct. This is the only one where we do it on the rear, and again, it's just because of being off-road, you have to consider where you put all the other stuff you're bringing with you doing the off-roading. So the rear makes the most sense for the extreme off-road. It's a full-size tire, same rim, same tires, same tread pattern, everything as the others on the trailer if you go with this option.
Perfect.
Plus you can get the cool accessories to carry more gear
Yeah,
on the
so
tire.
this is the 23-0 dirty gear bag.
Yeah, so it's made out of the same material basically as their awnings. And inside it's vinyl, so it's waterproof, and there's zipper compartments, so dirty shoes, muddy gear.
Muddy gear, stuff that you, and in a teardrop camper, this is big.
Right.
You know, even just a pair of dirty shoes, you don't necessarily want to bring in that confined to space. So this is an awesome piece of gear. I'm looking at this just even for my Jeep Wrangler.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
it's really
impressed with
popular.
this. But now you spared no expense. Are you building this yourself?
Yeah, anything in the metal we do ourselves, so including the tire carrier.
So this is really heavy
Yep.
duty.
And it's going to lock in place on you there,
So you
because
get a
we
lock
actually
there.
have 3 kind of safety locking positions here, so that it doesn't bounce back and fall into you. Because, I mean, it is a pretty heavy tire, so we want to make sure everything is nice and secure.
So we got a little rubber stop here on the door that's going to bring this out into position.
Right.
But the first thing that comes to mind for me, and you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'll put all of this stuff to use. So I mean, whether it's making a little table or even just being able to hang some stuff here while you're working on your little L-shaped kitchens, this is going to come in pretty nice.
Yeah, we've had some people do some mods to this. You know, the only thing you have to consider is the clearance next to the door when it's closed, if you're
Yep.
putting hangers or anything on like that.
Sure.
We're exploring doing a little bit of a redesign on this too for other accessories,
I'm
etc.
excited to see. I mean, the possibilities are endless, but really nice setup on these. Everything, when I look down, like these overhangs, everything is integrated into the frame.
Yes.
Nothing is really bolted on. It's part of an integrated frame.
Yes.
And then when I look at the fenders, they're not actually just screwed into the wood. They're actually bolted into the frame.
Right, yeah, the accessory hitch is part of the rear bumper, as well as we've got the 2 shackle mounts on either side, which you can use to help recover the trailer or recover another vehicle with the trailer. And then we have the integrated storage racks behind each fender as well.
There's not many camper companies out there that are offering you shackle hooks for recovery on their trailer. So well done. So folks, Robbie and I have done quite a few videos together on hiker trailers, but this is about, you know, the peak right here. This is
Top of the line, absolutely. You know, this is as expensive as we can get them. Every category that we have an option for, this one, someone has selected an option for.
Now, this doesn't mean that this is every accessory they offer. I see rooftop tents and a bunch of different stuff that's available, but this has an AC, rooftop AC. It's got a furnace, heater, water reservoir, decked out galley, every accessory, high-end awning. It's got that custom fridge box that you guys are selling with a very high-quality Truma fridge that's on the Dometic slider. Now this is a 44 quart.
That's correct.
So I mean, this is a massive refrigerator. If you wanted a different model that, you know, you could get dual zones, lots of stuff.
Yeah, we'll fit on average up to about most 45-liter coolers, accounting for the space for the fridge slide. So.
I see the 23-0 cargo box that's up on top. That's waterproof. So this is an example of somebody that didn't want to pick and choose too much. They got it all.
Yeah, and I mean, this is about as fancy as we can get, and we're still not break at the bank by any means. We're just a little over $30,000 for this top-of-the-line unit.
Yeah, and money's tough. Listen, I can't afford a trailer quite this nice yet, but I mean, what you have to be realistic about is that there's nothing on the market like this at that price point.
Right.
When you get to that capability and what they're offering with these trailers, they're just going to be considerably more expensive. Do your own homework and find out for yourself. But so I really appreciate you taking the time to do this.
It's been quite the adventure, and we've been fans of the channel for a long time, so we thank you for coming down and doing all this content with us and, you know, learning about Hiker and what we do. And
Well, I'm blown away impressed, and stay tuned because I don't think we're done. I think you'll see a little bit more out of Hiker on DIY Outdoor Life because I can't get enough of it. So.
sounds good.
All right, see you guys next time. Check out the links that I put in my description, and if you feel like subscribing, you're allowed to.